Our lives pretty well revolve around food, and we are pretty much eating several meals a day and some snacks. So I feel like I'm always making some kind of food. And this week I decided to start my dinners from the pantry. Now I should say that I don't normally meal plan. I just pull out some meat from the freezer either the morning of or the night before, and then I will cook whatever starch or vegetable goes really well with that. But this week I decided to start from the pantry because a pantry can very quickly just fill up with a bunch of stuff. It's easy to lose track of what's in there, and before you know it there's multiple bags of rice, strange flours, and lots of cans. And so this week I decided to go in there and get cleaning out some of the extras we have, or just some things that have not been touched in a really long time, and then couple meat and vegetables with those things that would go well together. So our meals are pretty simple. It's basically meat, vegetables, and starches. So this week I'm going to take you through some of our dinners that I made from scratch. Not a lot of thought put into these. They're just sort of on the go, on the fly. They're not exactly gourmet meals, but they are delicious and fed our family. So on Monday night I started by taking out chicken, but some of the chicken was not smelling very good, so I really only had one piece with some leftover leeks. And then I used my backup, a little bit of ground beef, which we canned in February of 2023. That with a little bit of plum chutney made for a little delicious meaty side dish with my only one chicken. That'll give us enough protein for the night at least. Now with that I made some arborio rice, which is kind of like a thicker rice, really good for risotto. I started by rinsing this in a pot with some water and then draining out the excess water. I chopped some mushrooms. These were kind of on their last legs, so I used up a bunch of mushrooms in this risotto. The chicken is coming along well, the meat is simmering. Now these ground beef jars are canned with water, so the ground beef comes out a little bit watery. I could probably strain that before adding it to the pan, but instead I made up a little slew of cornstarch and then just stirred that right in. Now this chicken is coming along quite nicely, but it's a bit on the thicker side, so I'm going to slice it here thinner and see if I can get that inside pink to cook nicely. I opened up a can of peas. I'm going to use this for the risotto as well. Now I'm adding the rice into this hot pan to cook for a little bit on high heat just to sear it and give it a little bit of extra flavor. Adding in some rice vinegar, stirring that all in for a few moments. And then I'm going to start adding in my broth. Now I just made this broth from cubes. I don't have any great broth on hand right now, so this is a nice little backup resort. If you are buying packets, look for ones that don't have a lot of sodium in them and aren't genetically modified ingredients. Now the key to risotto is adding only little bits of broth at a time and stirring and stirring and stirring. I probably spend about 15 to 20 minutes stirring risotto, which seems a bit of a time waste, but oh, it's such a delicious hearty meal. I mean, I could cook rice and broth and still have a really delicious meal, but stir and stir and stir, that's what gives it that creamy texture. Taste one of the kernels and see that I'm close to the end. I add in all of the mushrooms and then add back in those leeks that I cooked earlier with the chicken. Stir all of that together, and that's our meal for tonight. Risotto, a little bit of chicken, and a little bit of ground beef. Top that off with a lemon, and you have a quick, easy meal. The next night, I pulled out some of our tomato sauce, which I froze last time we opened up a can and didn't use all of it. And earlier in the day, I prepped our salsa for the evening. Well, it's kind of like salsa, it's just diced tomato and a little bit of onion. I only had a purple onion here, so a white onion would have been perfectly fine, but I used what I had, and then a bunch of cilantro, which I'm pulling out the stems that are a bit aged and starting to look yellow, but there's still lots of green goodness here, and so I'm adding that in with a little bit of lime. Now these limes are already brown, they look like they're also on their last legs, but they were perfectly fine inside. Now I've got my ground beef cooking up here with the partly frozen tomato sauce. That's getting ready on the stove. And then I'm going to Flavor it with some spices: hot chili powder, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and some pepper. Stir that all in nicely, and I'm gonna let that simmer for a little while. I've got a pot of water boiling in the background here. I thought I should just make some extra rice just in case my tortillas don't turn out so well. I open up a can of black beans, rinse them out, and I'm going to add that into my ground beef. Now the rice water is ready, so I'm adding a little bit of rice to my pot there so that can get going. I keep an eye on my rice these days, and I don't actually cook it for that long. I turn off the heating element and just put on the lid near the end when it's almost ready. That way I get a perfectly cooked rice instead of mushy rice. The black beans in this ground beef will go well with this Mexican dinner. Now I have some pita flour, so I'm adding 2 cups of pita flour and a cup of hot water with a little bit of salt, and I'm mixing that together to get my tortilla dough. I was surprised how easy it was to work with this dough. It comes together really nicely. I've heard that you can use whatever kind of flour and that it doesn't really make a difference. This is my first time making these. I got the flour a while ago and it's just been sitting in the pantry, so I'm going to use it up, and I am pleased with how well it's responding in making this dough. After mixing it in the mixing bowl, I kneaded it a little bit more on the countertop. And then I found what worked best was just having 2 pieces of parchment paper, rolling the dough into a ball, and then using a plate to press it down initially as much as I can, and then using a rolling pin to roll out the last little bit until it's as thin as I can possibly get it without it tearing. This worked relatively well. Then I was just using a plate to hold all of my rolls with parchment paper in between until I'm ready to bake them all at once. Now I'm really excited to use our cast iron skillets here. I've heated them up nice and hot before adding the tortilla, and then I only really cooked it for a minute on one side before flipping it. You can see they're ready to flip when the edges start curling up a bit. 1 more minute on the other side, and then I'm keeping them warm in this tea towel. And there we go, that's dinner. A little bit of homemade salsa in these tortillas with a little bit of spiced ground beef and beans. Once the tortillas ran out, we had the rices back up in for lunches. The next night we had chicken. I love a whole chicken because you can defrost it overnight, pop it into a pan like I'm doing here with a little bit of salt and pepper, and I add a little bit of water so I get a bit of a sauce at the bottom that we usually eat with rice or whatever kind of starch. I just put that right into the oven and usually let it cook for about an hour or a little bit more on 375 or about 400 to really get it going quick. Now pumpkins are also so easy. Slice them in half, take out the pits, put them on a pan, and roast them with your chicken. This is the easiest, no effort dinner really. And within a short amount of time you have a fully cooked chicken, some pumpkin, and then we had the leftover risotto from the prior nights that has just been sitting in the fridge, and so no point in making more starches when we have some ready to go. What's nice about this chicken is that if you don't actually finish it all, there's lots of leftovers for lunches or sandwiches. And then if I have the time that week, I'll usually take the carcass and turn it into some kind of broth in my Instapot. And look at that, a hearty meal, and it scarcely took any time. And for us right now, it's actually cheaper to buy a whole chicken, so that's worth mentioning. Not only is it quicker, but it's actually cheaper for us right now. Now the next night, we were going a little bit more fancy. Here I am making a white sauce, which, just a tip, if you're making a white sauce, it can totally sense your fear. So do it with confidence. I'm adding butter and some flour to my pan and cooking that together. And once I have a little bit of a cooked, thick-ish mixture, I start adding in the milk and mix that all in so that I continue keeping kind of a saucy texture. I don't want any clumps. I use a fork. Other people use whisks. Use whatever you can. Just keep on stirring and stay away from having clumps. Now I added more milk and turned up the heat. I'm still on getting ready some of the garlic. I use this new fancy immersion blender to quickly chop it all together. and I'm adding a pot of water to the stove so that I can make my pasta in a separate pot. Now I defrosted some delicious salmon that we caught in the summer here in the Pacific Northwest. Our ocean is filled with delicious salmon, and there's a certain time of the year where they are especially prevalent, and so this delicious, beautiful pink salmon, look at that, is one of those catches. And so I just put it in a pan with a little bit of butter, cover it with tin foil, put it right into the oven for about an hour. I think this night I had to go a bit quicker, so I think I did 400 degrees Fahrenheit for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and then just turn off the oven and let it steam the rest. Now in the summertime, when we have an abundance of basil, I usually freeze some with oil in these handy little cubes, just in an ice cube tray. And then I pop them out and add them into our white sauces because it just gives it that extra flavor that is so yummy. Now for the pasta, I usually rinse it in cold water just to stop that cooking process so we don't get mushy pasta, and then I let it rest in the sink until we're ready for it. Now it's later in the evening and the salmon's all ready. I'm just revamping our white sauce, cutting in some of our spinach just for a little bit of extra greens, adding that into my white sauce with the pasta, and that is a really delicious and tasty meal, especially with some salmon. Feels like we're eating out at a restaurant, but it's all homemade and totally delicious. I thought I would add a note here about cooking dinners with breakfast and lunches in mind, and I made some eggs with that leftover salmon and toast for breakfast quickly before we went to church on Sunday morning. I usually try to cook more than we would normally eat for dinner so that I have leftovers for some kind of meal coming up the next day that I don't need to think about, because I already know we are going to be hungry and we're going to want some hearty and healthy food. I also used some of that egg and made some burritos and grilled sandwiches for us for the road. If you've been here a while, you know that we drive quite a ways to church, and so it's nice to have some extra meals. Plain food can be dollied up and made taste really good, especially if it's quality ingredients. It just usually needs a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe some roasting in the oven or frying in a pan, and it can taste delicious. Well, thank you for hanging out with me for the week. I hope that you have gotten a little bit of inspiration or just learned how easy it is to make dinners from scratch. If you have any other suggestions or comments about what we eat, I would love to hear about it in the comment section. And if you like content like this, would you consider subscribing to our channel and sticking around? Alright, see you, bye.